Afternoon, YouTube's Manaway George Page, aka the Emperor of WMA Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, last night was UFC 271, and this was the rematch between Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whitaker, and this is for the UFC Men's Middleweight Championship. Now, before I really get into this video, I want to say this one point off. During the press conference, Israel, I usually call him Izzy, but I'm calling him Israel because that's his name, um, made a statement when he vilified Joe Rogan. As you know, Joe Rogan has been caught making his statements using the N word several times. And there's been quite a few fighters who've been, supporting him. Well, Israel, being a black man, especially being a black man from Africa, supported this white man saying this racist word. So I had no love for Israel Alexander. You know, I was hoping he'd get his butt kicked in this fight, but I felt like he was going to win. So, but from now on, I'm not going to support him. I'm not saying anything. This is shit as bad when Taiwan Woodley validated when piss poor Mike Perry said the N word. No, any black man supports any person. If somebody black says it, that's one thing. But when somebody white says it and say it often as Joe Rogan did, no, I do not support him. So forget him. So anyway, this was the last match for the Happy Warrior herself, Roxanne Modafferi. Roxanne has been in the game for quite some time. She's has fought some legends and not so much legends. And this is going to be her swan song in this fight. And she was fighting in the prelims, so I was able to catch the prelims because they showed it on ESPN. I ain't gonna pay Dana White no money to watch his fights on ESPN Plus or any pay per view. So anyway, her opponent is Casey. Don't call her Queen O'Neill. I don't call no female queen. That's not no king. No king. That's what she needs. She should be called queen or princess or like that. But don't call female king. It's like that Becky Lynch trash. I mean, you don't call yourself the man. No, you're not a man. You have the word MAA on the end of your as woman, but you're not a man. So this was gonna, like I said, be Roxy's last fight. And Roxy, like I said, she's been active fighter for quite a long time. She's also been a two-time tough competitor. She competed back in the the year when you had Misha Tate and Ronda Rousey, and also her last competition was a few years when they created the flyweight division. And Casey, she's an up and comer, and she's 8-0 now in the UFC. But I have a problem with Casey is she's putting Valentina in her mouth. And that's the thing is, don't when you're not ready, little girl, don't be talking about the champ. Keep Valentina out your mouth, because there's a thing called the Valentina curse. When fighters start talking about Valentina, they eventually lose or get their ass handed to them. So right now, you just got lucky. But once you get into the up in the rankings, you're gonna get tossed like salad. Now, Roxanne, like I said, has been in the game, and this was, like I said, was her last fight on her contract with UFC. There's a lot of things she could do now in her life. She's probably going to move on and focus on maybe she was a teacher for quite some time, but she loved the game of fighting. I'm not a big fan of Roxanne Modafferi, truth is, but I respect her commitment and passion for the sport of bodybuilding. Now, as you see, Roxanne's 39. She's gonna be 40 this year, and Casey's 24. And you see her record. Roxanne has she's been on a lot of wars, a lot of battles. 49 fights, almost 50. She could have kept on, just maybe make a 50th fight if she wanted to, but she wanted to walk away and move on with life because, like I said, fighting is tough, especially on anybody who does this combat sports. Now, Roxy Styles is a little kind of herky jerky. She throws some good strikes. She kind of moves around. I think it was taking Casey time to get her timing right with Roxy. Roxy, she has put some good hits in there. But Casey, being a little younger, she had more volume, more pop on her punches. But Roxanne took them. I mean, she was keep going forward. Casey was throwing her best shots, and Roxy took it. She ate some punches that maybe would have knocked out somebody else or maybe put them hurt, but she kept forward, and she had a good defense. She sometimes Casey threw a punch and Roxy dodged out of a way of it, and Roxy threw some punches that really put some damage. I think Casey's nose was bleeding already. Her eye was she had a shiner in her eye pretty much around the first round. So she's doing pretty good performance. But like I said, Casey being the younger fighter was coming back, and she was throwing more volume, better strikes. I mean, she was putting up a good fight, but Roxanne kept moving forward. She had no fear. I mean, I respect the Happy Warrior. I mean, she was fearless. And one point around about the second round, you know, Casey started to yell. You know, like a little kid. When you say you can't have no more cereal, like a little baby. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just it's. She's such a spoiled brat. She's only 12 years old, but that's the thing. When you get that age, you should be a little more mature. And Roxanne got a takedown in the second round, but it was like the last 16 seconds. And then, Casey, she came back with more volume, attempted a couple of takes, take down a kiss attempt by Roxy. And, pretty much the fight was over. It was over. And, I remember one part when the fight started, Casey didn't want to shake Roxanne's hand. Personally, I don't want to shake somebody who's fighting his hand. I don't want to be your friend. But like I said, they show each other mutual respect and hugging it out in the middle of the ring. It's just that's the thing about the fight game. There's a lot of, even though she was so disrespectful, Casey did show some respect to Roxanne because Roxanne took her to the limit. She put a whooping on Casey. So when they did the count, the judges called it a split decision. And I was listening to guys like with DC and one of the other guys from commentary talk about what's wrong with that judge? Why call it? Why give the Roxy? Why give the Roxy? Well, I think gave the Roxy because of the takedown and also that she already had Casey bleeding and her eye blackened in the first round. So now Casey O'Neill is now 9-0, but she's still a young punk. Because this part here, when she's getting interviewed by DC, she was getting booed by the crowd, and she said, "Yeah, don't boo me," like a little girl. That's what she is. She's a little girl, still a little girl. And some people need to raise their children right. She's sticking her finger up. Her father was one of her cornermen. I mean, don't you know how to raise your child? Don't your child have no home training? That's the problem. Well, Roxy, she got carried on her shoulders by her fiance. She gave him the thumbs up. And this is ceremonial, leaving the gloves in the middle of the ring, which is silent when the fire retires. Last year, one of my favorites, favorite fighters, Mario Renault, did that. And Roxy's been a game for a long time. She has been against some tough opponents, and she even made a shock the world when she beat Macy, the future barber. I mean, she put a whoop on that little girl. And Marby, my heart wanted to see Roxy do the same thing to Casey, but she did give Casey a fight. She truthfully gave Casey a fight. In this fight, I think Casey would never forget. Never estimate your opponent. Especially how tough they are, or how much they want to, prove something to you. She got a lesson. I'm hoping Casey can use this lesson for from this fight with Roxanne. But you know what? Young people like that will never learn nothing. And truthfully, Casey she's gonna be there in UFC, but she still gotta go up against some fighters in the flyweight division that are gonna be really tough. And for one thing, for Casey, keep Valentina Shevchenko out your mouth. Keep out your mouth. Focus on the opponents in front of you, not trying to jump the rope. Until you get to that next level, you shouldn't mention not one word of Valentina, or you get the curse. So, well, Roxy now is going to move on. She's engaged. She probably going to, well, maybe long before she gets married. And, she has other things in the pot. She was a teacher before. Also, she can also be a teacher, instructor, trainer in MMA. I think she has a future in the sport outside of it. So, best of luck to her in her future. Maybe we might see her maybe commentating, because that's the one thing a lot of fighters do in commentating. Or I think a good thing Roxy can do, be a judge. They most definitely need judges who have the knowledge of MMA, because that, like I said, that fight, some of those judges doesn't know what they're talking about or how they score these fights. But much respect to the happy warrior Roxanne Modafferi, and the best of luck. It's me on the way, Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Female of WMA Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.